downtown Miami on April 25th, 2025. Hey everyone, I'm Patrick from Oakland Travel, and we are in Miami on the Gale Hotel and Residences, and off in the distance, there it is, the icon of the seas. The icon of vacations, as Royal Caribbean's promotional department likes to call it sometimes. The start of a 7-night Western Caribbean cruise. We took the Brightline train from Orlando down to Miami, stayed here in the Gale, not too far away, because you want to be careful about that whole thing of traveling to the cruise terminal on the day of, if it's any sort of a plane or train or anything like that. So we took it, we did it the safe way. Came down a day before, since we're in Orlando. Simple train down to the Miami area. And beautiful morning here, about 8:30 out on the balcony. Our check-in time was 11:30, so we had a little bit of time to kill here at the hotel before it was time to jump in the Uber and head over to the cruise terminal. And that is First Avenue down there, I believe, where they're doing a whole bunch of construction down there. So it's Saturday morning in Miami, perfect weather, absolutely perfect weather. And so the journey begins. We start heading over to the terminal in the Uber here. It's never a good idea to arrive the day of the cruise. So of course we took the Brightline train from Orlando down to Miami. Stayed overnight in one of the hotels down there, not too far away. There you see the icon, the beautiful icon of the seas. This is our first time actually cruising out of this big terminal. We'd seen it quite a few times over the years, just in various videos, but never had cruised out of Miami before in this new terminal. So this was kind of a new experience for us. Now, everything was flawless. Getting out of the Uber, quick handoff, getting the luggage to to those guys, that handle it and everything. Getting here inside the terminal, we arrived kind of right on top of our arrival window, which was 11:30. It's maybe about a quarter till 11:30, like 11:15, whatever. So we're in the 11:30 to 12 little lane right here. Now, at the end of the cruise, this area was nuts. There were so many people at the end of the cruise that were arriving while we're trying to depart, and that part was a whole different story. So we'll cover that in a later video, but here we are. Now this was a little confusing right here. We get to this area and it's not immediately clear like what's going on, because this is a little different than what we've seen before. We've never been to this terminal before. And thankfully they've got somebody out here kind of guiding you, but once we got up here to him, it was pretty quick. One thing that's a little backwards here that we're used to from Canaveral and maybe even from Port Everglades, we had not gone through security yet. And normally the other terminals, they have you go through security before you do the little check-in here with the agents. And in this case, in Miami, it's backwards. So you'll see here in a second as we're getting ready to actually go through security. But the security was pretty quick, and just the entire process really on embarkation, going through the terminal and all the way, to the ship and everything. It was just really, really good, flawless, fast, no problems, no issues, just boom, boom, boom. We were just moving and moving and moving. So very happy about that. Overall, beautiful terminal. Yeah. One last check of the old C-Pass thing here. Give us one last scan. I guess she's the one that actually brings us on board the ship, and so once she scans us right there, we are officially sort of on the ship, because here in a second we sort of pass the security guys as we're walking onto the Royal Promenade, and they're right here. And so we're already basically checked in for the icon. So the first time, Royal Promenade, Deck 5, walking through the doors here. Get the little welcoming committee. And the first thing that struck me as soon as we kind of walked in here and I saw this is just the scale, the absolute scale of how big this ship is. I mean, this is like if you took the Oasis class. It just felt so much bigger than the Oasis class ships. And I know that the Icon class has more gross tonnage than the Oasis class by, however many. But the Oasis class ships are not small. And just everything about Icon just felt bigger, just scale, and it just made such a difference. I cannot stress that enough. It was so cool of how big this ship is, and just there was plenty of room everywhere. And like, you see how big the Royal Promenade is here. I mean, this is like twice as wide as some of the smaller ships, like the Voyager class and things like that. And it just made such a difference. It was really, really cool. And it would come into play quite a bit in other things later on in the cruise, when we would do, like, they would do a parade on the Royal Promenade and other things like that going on. And this right here, as we're walking up, our first time experiencing, and the first of many, obviously, first time experiencing the new elevator system.
Look at the elevator setup.
So there's a couple of interesting things about this, because what they do is they'll slot additional people into your elevator. If you're on 5 right here, let's say you choose, okay, I'm going to go up to deck 15. All right, and so you put in 15, and it tells you elevator like J, you'll see right here, right? Or whatever letter it is. J, right? Okay. If somebody's on deck 8 and they're going to 15 also, if they get it in within, like, while the elevator's literally coming up to deck 8, it can be the last couple of seconds, and the elevator will stop at 8 immediately and let them in. And so we saw a couple of times where it's not a big deal, but you start to learn how the elevator works after a few times of riding it. The Windjammer, now, I have to give them extreme props for this, because I was so glad to see this. A big, beautiful Windjammer. A properly sized Windjammer. Properly sized. Cannot state that enough. The Windjammer on Harmony of the Seas sucked. The Windjammer on Allure of the Seas, not much better. This is how it should be right here. There's so much room to move around in here, because on deck 15 they gave it the proper amount of space. Critical. This was such a huge 2 thumbs up for this. Plenty of room to wash your hands, the hand washing stations. I mean, this was all just top notch. Everything about the Windjammer on this cruise was just above and beyond. Everything, the food, the selection, the size. Hey, look at this little washy. And it's so big. It's equal on both sides, and it goes across the back. So you see, kind of way back through those glasses, through the glass there, you can be on either the port side or the starboard side, go towards the back of the Windjammer from the main entrance, and then you can cut across and get to the other side. And now all of the food and all the stations that they have on one side, they've got on the other. So there's so many options in here. You've got a full bar on both sides. You've got gluten-free at the back. We're going to do a whole bunch of video on the Windjammer later on. So this was just, I didn't even record any, and they were so busy on Embarkation Day. This was lunchtime Embarkation Day, the classic go get your lunch as soon as you get on the ship kind of thing. So now we go all the way through the Royal Promenade. And of course, you see just the sheer volume of people, because remember, this ship is massive and it holds a lot of passengers. And at this point, right here in the video, it's probably every bit of about 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Almost regardless of which Royal Caribbean ship.
So you're prime time right now. That's why there's already a lot of people on there. And you see the balloons. Here's something that I dinged them on a little bit here. The balloons were for the 70s disco party. And somebody thought it was a good idea to have the 70s disco party on Embarkation night. So that's strike number 1. Strike number 2 is they had the 70s disco party start at 11:15 at night or something like that, to where they could do the balloon drop at midnight. So strike 2 is starting the 70s disco party that late, and strike 3 is the balloon drop at midnight. Like, everybody's going to be tired on Embarkation Day. And it's like the 70s disco party is always one of the big hits. And you got to put that on Embarkation night.
There's the Pearl to our left.
And then to really sort of add insult to injury, later, middle of the cruise, like day 4 or 5 was Cozumel, right before the sea day, so day 5. And they could easily have done the 70s party that night, and it would have been amazing because there was nothing going on the Royal Promenade in the core part of the night. And because there's no bands playing, there's one dude playing in the pub but by himself, but that was it. And the Schooner Bar piano guy was off that night. The band that plays in Boleros stopped at 6:30. There was no entertainment. There was nothing going on the promenade on the night in the middle of the cruise on like day 5. And they could have done the 70s party that night and it would have been amazing. Instead, they did it Embarkation Day. So when I did the cruise review, I kind of dinged them on that. The timing of both when they did the 70s party and then how they handled that night on Cozumel on day 5 just didn't make any sense whatsoever. But those are little things that are just more of like the entertainment staff and scheduling and timing, and they don't really have anything to do with the ship per se, but they did sort of very, very, very slightly impact the cruise experience. Not much. But overall, if you see as we walked through the Royal Promenade, it's massive. And it was really, really cool, especially with it being 2 stories. Remember, this is deck 5, so this is the lower level of the promenade. So just an overall extremely cool setup. We get up here to where we're going to do the check-in for the muster drill. Because, of course, naturally, as soon as you set foot on the ship, they are all over you about the muster drill. Not too bad. We did hear some announcements later in the afternoon as we were getting closer to like embarkation, departure time, where they were saying, still a lot of people that haven't done their muster drill, whatever. You're always going to get that. But
Assembly Station B4.
so we get that out of the way. And then after this, we're going to head up and we're going to do the all important stateroom tour for the standard ocean view balcony.
Hello.
B4?
Yep, B4. All right. Stateroom 14158. Stateroom 14158. Yeah, so coming into the doorway here. A nice ocean view balcony going here. Immediately to our right, we have the bathroom. A nice bathroom. We were just noticing that they combined the shampoo and the conditioner into one, apparently. Got an interesting little diagonal pull-out shelf going on here. A little bar of soap. A couple of the water cups here. Got some shelving going on here. Nice sink. Push your towels. Little toilet down here. Swing around here. Got a few shelves going on here. Towel. Yeah, a nice little, pretty workable little bathroom here. And then of course we've got our shower area. Got to watch the step down here as you step into the shower. But you've got the nice sort of sliding door here. And look at this. You've got a area for someone to sit and do whatever. You got your towels up here. This reminds me of sort of hotels do a lot of this. Grab bar. Things over here for where you can put your, soaps and everything. So if we stand in here and close the door, here's your drain down there in the corner. Got plenty of room here. Got, let's see, what is that? That is the, I guess how much, like the pressure of the water. And then you got your water temperature. They've got it in Celsius over here, 38 degrees Celsius. Get your deal here that will come out. And then of course slips right into the groove there. Got a nice shower head going on there. Here's our Salt and Breeze Double Duty Hair and Body Wash. Is that velvet or coconut, sandalwood, whatever that is. Nice little bathroom going here. Definitely have to watch out for when you come in and out of there and you're stepping over that. Definitely have to watch that. So as we come out of the bathroom, we've got a couple of hooks over here to where we can hang stuff or whatever. Oh, I did not see the clothesline. Ooh. Now there are a couple of hooks back here where you can hang something to let them dry in the shower. You got a nice little closet area here. It's not very deep, but it's tall all the way up. And of course you're safe. And we're in Stateroom 14158. Port side of the ship towards the front. So Maria was commenting on this before I started recording video about the closet here. What was your deal on the closet?
That there aren't as many shelves.
Yeah, and you've got these little pull-out bins down here that I don't know.
Very practical. I don't like it.
Yeah, the jury is out on these. We'll have to see how these do over the course of the cruise.
Like, imagine on the right side there was slightly different configuration, but there was shelves going all the way down.
Yeah, I mean you got a couple of things here. Did you notice those?
What are those?
I mean more things to like hang like a shirt or something. But yeah, you're talking about like just regular shelves.
Taking a packing cube and sitting it on the shelf.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out between the two of us how we're gonna.
They made more room for hanging things, and less room for other things.
Yeah.
Or things, like, I don't know, who did they query? Like, they probably didn't have packing cubes.
This ship was supposed to have been designed new from the ground up, like every bit of it from what I read. So, got our little sofa here. I don't know if this is a sofa bed or not. A pull-out sofa bed?
I doubt it.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. We don't need it. It's just the two of us. Got our little table here.
Cold.
I'll be sitting here doing my stuff with my laptop. So power-wise, we have a couple of USB, and these are USB-C power ports right here. And then we've got the European port here, like we normally see, a couple of USB-As right here. Another port there.
We're getting a crystal block.
Uh-oh.
Unless we reject it.
No, I'm sure we'll find a place for it. So pull out our chair. Got all of our stuff here. Breakfast menu, which we have another family member that's cruising with us, and she might very well take advantage of that. And then, is this the book you were talking about?
Yeah, it's just got like pictures.
Yeah. Big old thick.
The art program.
Yeah, big old thick booklet here.
Oh, so this is all about the art.
Oh yeah, the art on the ship.
Because they want to sell that,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're big into art, I mean, I guess. But they have one of these in every single, however many staterooms.
Yeah, it's a nice big old thick book.
Yeah.
Please do not remove from the stateroom.
Yep.
And then just some drawer space going here. Down at the bottom, got a hair dryer that everybody asks about in our Facebook group.
Yeah, importantly, on that note, I feel like they used to have stubby snout.
Yeah, oh yeah.
This one has a little bit longer snout, but you can tell it's all beat up because people have probably brought their diffusers and forced them on there.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is a pretty basic hair dryer, so they'll probably replace that. And then, of course, you've got your refrigerator. We get a lot of people asking questions on our Facebook group about the refrigerators and whether or not the rooms come with them, and that's pretty standard on cruise ships, I think, these days.
Now, the other family member traveling with us did ask about an ice bucket, because it used to be that there would be an ice bucket in the room.
Yeah.
She's going to request it, so we'll see if that is an option.
Yep. And, of course, requisite TV going on here. We have it turned off at the moment, I think, but... And then a little more shelves. Notice you've got two more power charging stations down here. These are USB-A. See? USB-A right there. Nice. 2 more.
Oh, I thought that was a plug.
Yeah, no, those are 2 USB-A ports.
Oh,
charging
that's
ports.
nice. You could put your phone there.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you could do it.
Yep. And then, of course, over here, you've got a regular standard outlet here, right?
I don't understand, again.
And you've got a USB-A charging port there.
Again, this is like on other ships, right? Like, why they put one plug over there, but not, like, why not make them equal?
Well, but you've got a USB-A port over there.
But there's no plug.
I know.
Oh, like, you're going to put one there. Why not put one here?
I know. Well, but see, we've seen some ships where the power plug was over on this side, but not on this side.
No, that's what I'm referring to. Is
only on one side.
Yeah. Like,
yep. Then we got our nice little basic stateroom phone here. USB-A charging port. A little bit of storage there. I like this because there's room under here. I'll probably utilize.
oh, yeah, that's right. This is my side.
Yeah, so I'll probably utilize that.
The light to the patio is right there behind the drapes.
Oh, that's okay. So that's for the
just
patio.
Interesting note. You know, the things that I saw on the app where you can adjust certain things in the room.
Yeah.
In the infinite verandas, you can do just like on Celebrity.
Oh.
You can.
Yeah.
You can open the
I
blinds.
can't quite get the camera under there, but yeah. It's plenty of room under there. You open the blinds.
Yeah, you can open the blinds and all that from the app. Well, since we got the standard stateroom,
Yeah. Well,
we have the standard
yeah.
blackout drapes.
So here's our traditional ocean view balcony, which is what we wanted. We were originally booked on an infinite veranda, and after Celebrity Beyond, where we had one on there, we're like, I don't think so. So I actually had to change our reservation once we got back to do an ocean view balcony, and there are not as many on the icon because they really pushed the infinite veranda. But a little basic deal here. 2 chairs, nice little table. The chairs, I guess they lay flat too, to where you can make them into like a recliner, because Maria was talking about that earlier before I got out here. So here we are, port side of the ship, towards the front, deck 14. Here you see the Icon of the Seas bridge right there. Beautiful Miami, that's the MacArthur Causeway going out to South Beach right there. And so it is 1:46 in the afternoon, departure 5 p.m. So we're getting ready to go wander around. We're looking for our luggage, so no telling how long it'll take for them to get it here. They're actively bringing it up now, so hopefully it's not too long before we see it. All right, so I guess you got a little portal there. If you had neighbor or family next door, you could cut through there. But this concludes the stateroom tour. Icon of the Seas, deck 14, port side forward. Here's the bridge right there. MacArthur Causeway going out to South Beach. Saturday, April 26, 2025. 3 o'clock in the afternoon. 2 hours till we depart.